So, Gareth Edwards, the creator, is finally out in theaters and IMAX screens alike, and if you want to know if the latest original sci-fi epic is worth checking out on the big square, well, let's get into it. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Brockopp side, a place to live, talk, and buy movies. And yeah, I got to see this, and I got to check this movie out a couple days early on the big square. Thank you to the Sci Fi Center for hooking me up with that screening. I have a link down below for their YouTube channel and everything like that. But anyway, if you guys have checked out this movie, go ahead and comment down below your thoughts on the creator. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Are you secretly an AI robot in disguise? Doesn't matter if you are, I'm curious, you know? But with that out of the way, let's start talking about the movie. And this is one of the most beautifully shot and emotionally gripping sci-fi movies we've gotten in a little while. The movie takes a lot of familiar elements from other stories. It's basically like if you took Star Wars, The Last of Us, with a little bit of Terminator and a sprinkle of Blade Runner, put that all into a blender, stirred it all up, and there you go. You get the creator. That's to say the story and plot are nothing we really haven't seen before, which is not necessarily a bad thing as long as you can package it in an interesting way, which I think the creator definitely does. It takes the very relevant topic of AI and its dangers in the modern world and mixes them with post-Vietnam War themes about the horrors of guerrilla warfare, which of course George Lucas did for Star Wars back in the late 70s, which gives it a classic cinema feel but still makes it contemporary. Some people have said they don't buy John David Washington in the lead role, which I totally disagree with. If you liked him in Tenet, you're gonna like him in this movie. His Joel and Ellie style relationship with the AI known as Alfie is the centerpiece of the entire movie, and it leads to an onslaught of emotions as the second and third act ramp up. It's really hard to keep a dry eye at that point. As for the remainder of my talking points, that can wait for just 1 second while we get into the next part of the review, which is the IMAX, as in how does the creator look in IMAX on the big square? Well, let's start talking about that next, shall we? Interestingly, the creator was not shot on your traditional cinema cameras. It was filmed on the Sony FX3, which is a prosumer camera that runs for about $4,000 that you yourself could run to Best Buy right now and pick up if you wanted to, which luckily has been IMAX certified for this movie. That was one thing that got me really excited about seeing this movie. Director Gareth Edwards wanted to prove you can make a large-scale sci-fi epic without a $300 million budget. The budget for this one coming in at just shy of $90 million. Really high-quality filmmaking gear is becoming more and more accessible all the time, and I think that's really inspiring when a major high-concept sci-fi movie like this that gets a major IMAX release can be shot using a, $3,000, $4,000 camera that you and I could own right now. The lenses, however, they used for it, let's just say there's a reason most filmmakers rent their lenses. The movie was also shot in a 2:76:1 aspect ratio, not quite the 1:90 we usually associate with IMAX releases, which tend to fill up the entire screen. For this movie, they opted to use a 70mm ultra-wide presentation, which classic movies like Ben-Hur and even more recent things like The Hateful Eight have done masterfully in the past. This movie's strong visual presence was meant for the IMAX screen. You really get to appreciate the ultra-wide frame, whether it's the sweeping landscapes of New Asia or shots of the giant Nomad space station that just blows stuff up a la the Death Star. By the way, any fans of Rogue One out there, you're gonna be really pleased by this movie because Gareth Edwards directed Rogue One and this one, and he definitely transplanted a lot of Rogue One's DNA into this movie. That's all I'll say about that. This includes Greg Fraser's incredible cinematography. You know that handful of movies from the last couple of years where you're like, damn, this movie looks absolutely incredible. You could thank Greg Fraser for that. Overall, the creator should satisfy your needs for an original sci-fi movie. It was a really great time at the theater, but one quick side note though, if you're one of those people that goes onto Twitter and is like, oh, people don't support original movies anymore, and you yourself don't go out and support said original movie when it comes out, stop talking, alright? You don't get an opinion no more. As for the IMAX, I'm going to say that yes, absolutely, you should check this out in IMAX if you get the chance to. With its ultra-wide presentation, seeing this in a standard screen, or even at home in a couple of months, it just won't be the most ideal way to check it out. Again, we can't all do that. We don't have IMAX theaters or whatever nearby, but if you do have the means, I highly recommend it. So for the movie itself, I'm going to give it a silver unboxing machete, and for the IMAX, I'm going to give it a gold unboxing machete. Now, if you want to see my thoughts on another original sci-fi movie in IMAX, I got just the thing right over here. Otherwise, subscribe if you live talking by movies, and we'll see you on the Brockopp side.